Hello everyone, this is Hakaym and welcome back to another episode of Funday Sunday, and this is actually a series of battles that I actually had with a teammate of mine very early morning, like Tuesday or something like that. And obviously, as you could tell, we are in the tier 10 Grosse Kurfurst, and I actually haven't shown this battleship off in actually a little while, which is surprising. We are playing on Warrior's Path. We have a Midway Conqueror, Grosse Kurfurst, Iowa, Alabama, Tirpitz, 2 Minotaurs, New Orleans, Gearing, Shimakaze, and a Udaloy. On the enemy team, there is Kuryu, Montana, Yamato, Fitagrossa, North Carolina, Monarch, Minotaur, Hindenburg, Neptune, Shimakaze, Haberdosh, and a Kagero. And yes, I guess I realized that I have not shown this battleship off in a while. Obviously, the German battleships got a buff to their secondaries, plus some minor nerfs, but essentially buffs. A lot of them, if not all, got additional range to their secondaries. The Grosse Kurfurst range is now 11.6, which I find absolutely ridiculous and not entirely needed. As well as the secondaries now reload a little bit quicker on the Grosse Kurfurst, so yes, secondaries are fairly powerful on the German battleship line. So I am joined with a friend of mine, a new clanmate actually, all in pink. He actually became pink when he was in a co-op battle and he shot some bots. So yeah, don't do that, you'll actually become pink. No Game No Life is in the Conqueror, the tier 10 British battleship. Really does like his Conqueror. I think he's in the Conqueror in the few battles that I am showing off. So if you do see him once again in the Conqueror, it's because it was almost all in the same night. So we are pushing out towards A, and we are almost instantly detected. No real big surprise there. Now, I do run the Concealment Expert on my ship. I really do like having that concealment. It does allow you to be a little bit more sneaky, even though the Grosse Kurfurst being sneaky is not something it's well known for. We did get a hit on the Haberdosh, did actually a full penetration damage, did around 3k. And now shots off on the Montana. Let's see if we can actually get a hit. And unfortunately, we're going to have our back guns and front guns separately firing. And unfortunately, we dodged all of that Montana's return fire. And unfortunately, I don't think we did a lot of damage against the Montana in the first place. So, as you can see, the enemy team is pushing quite heavily into A. The Shimakaze is, for whatever reason, just sitting there. He is being radared. Shots off on him. Got a few over penetrations. Definitely take him out, and yes, he actually finally goes down to the friendly Shimakaze. Very good job there. Actually, the friendly Udaloy. What am I saying? It's the friendly Udaloy that does take him out. Let's see. Broadside Neptune. Let's see if we can get a Citadel on this broadside Neptune that decided to pop out and then completely stop while his smoke is covering up. And yes, Citadel on the Neptune, and not bad. Definitely, probably, hopefully would have been better if we actually took him out, but unfortunately that was not the case. Oh well, at least we did some damage against that Neptune. And as you can see, almost the entire enemy team is pushing quite heavily into A, while our force is more split into A and B. So this is not particularly what I would have liked, but it is the case. It does allow us to go cap B, and the enemy team have yet to actually cap. So we are at an advantage because we are currently getting cap points, but we have just lost our New Orleans, and that's not real good. At least we're tied on how many ships are available, but they have lost their tier 10 destroyer. Well, we have only lost our tier 8 cruiser, so not the worst thing in the world. And look at that. Now the secondaries are opening up. Oh god, I love the secondaries. I still think it's not needed to have those secondaries available. Hopefully, can we get 5k not the greatest in the world. And of course, the German cruisers, the Hindenburg, has that really good HE now, which I once again am not a fan of. I really don't understand why Wargaming thought it was needed for that improved HE on the German cruisers, because essentially they have good AP. Sure, maybe not as heavy hitting as, say, the USN line, but broadside target with a German AP, you can chew them up so quickly. But yes, HE is now improved on the Hindenburg, of course. Alright, so Udaloy does lay down us a smoke screen. Unfortunately for us, the smoke screen is a little bit away from us, so yeah, probably could have been a little bit better had he actually laid it down a little bit closer. Definitely not the best place for it, and so he's actually reversing, and he's actually going to take benefit using his own smoke screen, because fortunately for us, our friendly CV is currently spotting the enemy team. Does land a nice hit on that Hindenburg. Oh, that must have hurt. And it looks like he is going to be burning for some time. Can we take out this Hindenburg? That would be nice, but I don't think that's going to be the case. No, it's not. And we have just lost our Minotaur to the enemy Hakaym, which is actually very surprising. It looks like he went after that Minotaur with all 3 torpedo squadrons and dive bombers. So we have just lost our tier 10 cruiser, and that is actually one of the better cruisers for facing against enemy CVs. And I think it's a really good time to take really big steps in the other direction, because the enemy force is starting to push up north, although they aren't doing the greatest in the world. We have just lost our Iowa too. Good lord. Losing ships left and right. Now we are down 3 ships to their 1. And yeah, it is probably a good idea to actually pull away. Now, I will say this. I understand that the Grosse Kurfurst is actually a really good ship to go and brawl. But in this instance, this would not be a good situation to be in due to the fact that, well, there's actually quite a few ships, and the Grosse Kurfurst can go down quite quickly, especially if it is being focus fired by the entire enemy force. So in this instance, it's actually a good idea to actually pull away and keep my distance. I would like to get a little bit closer to let my secondaries have some fun, but unfortunately for us, we are going to have to take steps in the other direction and kind of try to keep some distance. Let's see, North Carolina is burning quite badly. Shots off on the Hindenburg. I'm expecting this North Carolina will go down to the fire, and they have just lost their Montana to the friendly Turbits. And this Hindenburg, well, we'll see him later. Don't worry about that. We will see him later. Now, we have just lost our gearing, and as you can see, we are down 2 ships. Not particularly the best situation, but it's not the worst situation in the world. They have just lost their Yamato and also their North Carolina. So we are now even, but they have lost some of their big ships, while we still have 2 of our tier 10s left around. And I think it's time to actually start pushing in. Shots off on that Minotaur did about 9k, not the worst thing in the world, and we are almost always constantly spotted by aircraft, which is unfortunate. Unfortunately for us, that dispersion just goes every which way, and that I don't think we're going to be able to get a hit. No, it does not look like that's the case. And enemy Monarch, we'll see. We'll fire a salvo, see if we can get lucky on that hit. Now, I have heard quite negative things about the Monarch and the KGV. They're not particularly good battleships, at least from what I've heard. And I think I aimed a little bit too far in front of that Minotaur. Yeah, shots go a little forward. I aimed a little too far forward. Let's see if we can get lucky. Now, I think especially whenever you are dealing with British cruisers that are, and he actually gets a ricochet, good lord, that are in smoke screen. Having the spotting craft available to you is actually very, very beneficial because it gives you a different perspective, which will allow you to actually aim more towards the center of the ship. But we still get a citadel on that Minotaur. I think I aimed a little bit too low on that one, but having that spotting craft would have been beneficial for this situation. But we still get a citadel on that Minotaur, so I'm satisfied with that. So now we're gonna go ahead and start pushing in. We do have a Shimakaze and a Ululoi pushing into A. Although there's not a lot of us left around, we still have our Turbits. No Game No Life is on full health. So I think we're doing quite well at the moment. Hindenburg is becoming a pain. Would love to take him out, and unfortunately I don't think that's going to be the case. We have just lost our Shimakaze to the Monarch. And I think that Shimakaze was a little bit too close. I think he was hoping to get some torpedoes off. It does look like he does get some off, but yeah, I think the Minotaur was hydroing him. So, not particularly the best situation. Alright, so, with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and push into towards B, and we're going to defend it. That's our main focus right now, is just defending the B cap from the enemy team, because essentially we are ahead in points. We are down a ship, but that's alright. And oh, come on, 13k, no citadels, but should go down here in just a moment. Secondaries are now going off, and Minotaur goes down to our ally and his Conqueror. So overall, not too bad. Now we are even on ships. There is still a Monarch and a Fidel Grosso still around, and now we are currently being focused on by the... Actually, I believe it's by the Monarch that is currently, or better yet, currently fired at us. Now Haberdosh is trying to get some too. That Haberdosh is going to be a slight pain, but we are going to go ahead and maneuver ourselves around the island and possibly pull away, because we are soaking up damage, which is good, because this is actually what the German battleships are really good for, is soaking up that damage. And that fire is burning quite nicely. And yeah, we're gonna go ahead, take it out. And I actually don't know who fired. I think the Monarch may have fired at us. So we're gonna get around this island, possibly help against this Fideglosa. Let's see. He is spotted. The Minotaur is opening up on him. Would be nice if we can actually get eyes on him, so maybe we can assist on taking him out. Very, very low in health. Shots off. I think we're probably going to lose a few shells on this mountain, but I think a few made it over. Yes, one lonely shell made it to target, which is unfortunate. So we're gonna go ahead and push in towards B. Now, it looks like the Fideglosa is pushing in towards C, and the C is actually currently not under anyone's control, which is a good thing and a bad thing. Good thing is, obviously, no one controls it, and no one's getting any points. The bad thing is, well, no one's getting points. So, looks like the Fideglosa is going to push into C and try to capture it, but he is currently being focused on by our friendly Midway, as well as the Minotaur. And the Minotaur is going to have his fun on the Fideglosa. Now, one little side note is, I remember one battle I've had where I saw a captain in the Edinburgh, and he complained how his AP did no damage against broadside battleships. I'm like, do you not understand what you're supposed to be doing in a British cruiser? You're not supposed to be aiming at the armor belt. You're supposed to be aiming at the superstructure. And German battleship has a lot of superstructure, and you want to be firing at that because you can rack up that damage. Let's see if we can get a few shells over the top of this island here. One over penetration. but I think this Minotaur obviously has it. So we're gonna instead focus on the Monarch that is currently pushing in towards B, and they have lost their Haberdosh. Actually, I'm kind of curious who actually took out the Haberdosh. Kind of curious. And if you can notice in chat, we are having a slight feud, I guess you could say, between the two enemy CVs. All started with our friendly CV, Basie, saying that the bombers on the Hakaym aren't that great. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how things go. If you guys want to watch the chat, it's kind of funny and it's just kind of sad. So, slowing up, hoping this Monarch will push around this island. At least that's what I'm hoping. Now he is from STW, and STW is actually a really good clan. And let's see if we can catch him on the wrong side. I think he's hoping that I would have pushed south around the island and obviously kept the island between him and my ship. But unfortunately for him, yeah, that's not the case. Currently is being focused on by our friendly Minotaur. Just gonna give it a little bit of time. Gonna wait for him to come around. And oh, this is so fun. I love doing this. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Does take a big hit from our friendly Conqueror. Just waiting for the opportune moment. Show us that broadside. Oh yes, show us that broadside. Angle is pretty good. And good night, sweet prince. There we go. Our very first kill of the game goes to that Monarch, and we're sitting not bad damage, around 146k, not too bad. All that stuff on the enemy team is a Neptune, Hindenburg, and the enemy CV. And let's see, this is the same Hindenburg that we've seen since the beginning of the game. Let's see what these AP shells will do. Now, I've had quite bad luck with my AP, with at least penetrating, but a Citadel's a Citadel, and the Hindenburg goes down, which means our second kill of the game. And all that's left on the enemy team is the Hakaym and the Neptune, and it looks like the Hakaym is going to try to take down our friendly Midway, which is unfortunate. But I think our Midway is going to survive this bombardment from the enemy Hakaym. And I think, let's see, can we try to get around? That would be nice. But I think as far as damage wise, that was the last salvo that we did. We are almost about to win. We have 2 caps to their 1. And we're sitting at 950 points. So yes, we are going to take this no problem. Unless one of our friendly destroyers decides to do something rather bit dumb. But also time's running out, so there's not much the enemy team can do to actually claw back up. They would have to essentially take out each and every one of us. There's just not enough time. So with that, I'm actually going to end this because, well, if you want, you can watch the chat because the chat's just hilarious. These two carriers are going back and forth, giving barbs back and forth to each other. So thank you guys so much for watching, and if you like what you saw, hit the like and subscribe button. You guys have a great and fantastic day. Zaijian.